It's a new season, and I'm excited to announce that I am going to be doing an updated Zap Lalo tutorial. So I'm going to be running Zap Lalo for this entire season, and I'm not going to do live attacks. Like, I'm going to stop those live attack tutorials that I've been doing. For a while, we'll focus on like very beginner friendly tutorials where I take you guys through some replays that I've done and explain bit by bit how you need to phase out your attacks. So we'll focus on the important details once again, and we'll do them slowly. So that's like 4 attacks that I'm going to take you guys through, and let's just get into those replays where I explain it to you guys. Of course, you can find the army link in the description. Here's what I have on my heroes in terms of their pets as well as their equipments. And yeah, you'll also notice I'm not carrying a poison. I'm carrying a skeleton spell. You can change the skeleton spell for the poison spell if you want. It is entirely up to you, and that's all we really need to know. So let's just get going. So it is the first day in Legend League, right? And you guys know that you don't always get the best bases. So I thought, let me just show you guys some war attacks, and I should also tell you guys one more little detail. It is also okay to use the life gem rather than the heal tome. That is also entirely up to you. It's just a matter of your preference. If you find that you're using the warden ability early, you can feel free to use the heal tome. But if you feel the need to have your warden ability held for a long time, go ahead and use the life gem. I also feel it provides more support as your loons kind of circle around towards the ending of the base, so that those guys also get the HP bonus. It's just entirely up to you. So yeah, for the plan for the attack, like how do you even phase the attacks like one bit by a bit? So we have our zaps to begin with, and then of course we need to think of a way to make life easy for our heroes and slash or our siege machine, and that is usually a flame flinger is what I'm trying to say over here. And you'll notice that this is an anti-2 style setup where the core itself is not very dense. It just practically has the town hall and those 2 multi-infernos. The real damage is located over here and over here, and most of the times you'll notice people try to zap out the rage towers themselves. But once again, I'm just gonna try to emphasize on the point. You need to make life easy for your heroes one way or the other. And you can see there's not the best value that you can really get over here. So with your zap spells is what I'm trying to say, if you try to go for this rage tower. So instead, once again emphasizing this, you need to make life easy for your heroes, and you'll see exactly what I'm going to do over here. You'll probably wonder why I'm going to be using the zaps the way I do, but let's just see what exactly it is that I end up doing, and then you can probably see why I don't even go for the rage tower. Look at what I've ended up zapping out. So now what this does is this entire compartment practically doesn't exist anymore. So I can just start my queen over here like this, and she will not take any damage at all. And you know what else this does? Because I removed this X-bow and this multi-archer tower right over here, that's right, I can start this flame flinger just like this, and we have plenty of archers in our army composition to easily tank this mortar. So yeah, 1 giant and 1 wizard can easily take that cannon. That is an easy way to snipe a defense waiting for you outside. And then of course we have 4 archers in this army composition to just easily handle that scatter shot. And now, as I was saying, like the hero dive is practically just going on at the same time. And now this flame flinger, you can see it has a beautiful path to handle the rage tower, which we wouldn't have handled with our zaps. So instead, this distribution of what I've decided to with my zaps and my siege machine, it is the same value I would have gotten, but I'm just doing it more efficiently, so I can actually go ahead and use my siege machine like this, and my queen is not taking any damage now. So now look at this funnel we're setting. We're going to have our king also come in right over here, and you guys guessed it, despite of it being an anti-2 style setup, we can get a wall breaker on this wall if we drop it exactly where I've kept my arrow starting point from. And look at that. What's even going to stop us? Because as I said, these compartments themselves don't really have any damage in them. So the king and the queen are free to take the town hall all by themselves. You can't ask for much more than this at this point. And of course, that only leaves one last thing. Start the Lalo from over here. And you can see, I am not waiting. This is also a very, very important point. I am not waiting for my king and queen to get the value that they have. You can see, I still have my king ability. I still have my queen ability. I have immediately started with my royal champion as soon as that ice golem froze, and I'm also starting with my Lalo. We have to get that cross tanking going. It is the most important part about Lalo, and you can see I am literally not waiting to even see what my king and my queen are doing. I'm just Immediately starting my Lalo with the Royal Champion over here and kind of like spreading my forces out so that this Rage Tower is not able to deal too much of damage to me. And yeah, I've just popped my vulnerability because it's a Rage Scatter Shot and I don't want to really deal with it. And I saw a Tesla farm is popping up over here, and this is also one example of where I feel like the life gem could be a little bit more clutch. Like you can see, these balloons are slowly gonna be taking advantage of the warden's life gem, and everybody's gonna get that HP buff. And look at this, guys, it's absolutely demolished. There's no doubt about it. We still had one zap left. Our queen has her healers because she popped her ability so late, and the reason she's able to stay alive is only because we started our Lalo phase that early. So obviously, a few important tricks. You do not need to be greedy with your zap spells. Just try to focus on making it convenient for your heroes, and if possible, a flame flinger. That is the best thing you can do. Like we literally made it so easy over here that our heroes managed to grab the entire town hall compartment by themselves. The Lalo only had like this much of a path to cover. Nothing was left for them. Literally nothing was left for them. So just go ahead and yeah, a few tricks. Like as I was saying, zaps to make life easy for your heroes and your siege machines. You don't always need the craziest value. And then after that, the next most important point is do not wait for your king and queen to die before starting your Lalo. Consider starting your Lalo so that you can actually have some cross tanking between both of them. And that way, as you saw over here, my queen literally survived all the way to the end. It was almost like a mini queen charge in the core. It's just that simple. So those two tips are all you need to remember for Zap Lalo. After that, it's just a matter of practicing your Lalo deployment and you will crush bases. Let's just move on to the next one. Over here you'll see I've modified my army a little bit. I think I could have done this with 5 zaps, but like okay, I've also given you a hint on what I'm going to be zapping now that I'm saying only 5 zaps are needed. And yeah, it's going to be the same principles over here. Let's try to keep it a little interactive as well this time. And maybe you guys try to take a moment and figure out what it is that I need to zap over here and how I need to rotate my heroes around the base. And remember that you have your giant gauntlet on your king as well as your phoenix. He is very capable of doing a lot of work for you. He can clear an entire compartment. So that's also a little hint. Like if you manage to funnel him in this compartment, he will grab the entire compartment with the enemy queen as well. So what can you really do on a base like this, right? I'm assuming you pause the video and try to figure it out yourself, but over here it's a very simple plan. All I'm trying to do is I just end up zapping this core over here. Like I'll be able to grab both the sweepers, the poison tower, and the single inferno waiting for me in the core. And that's more than enough validation that I can ask for, because honestly, if I get rid of the sweepers, what resistance is even there for these sides of the Lalo? It sounds simple the way I'm trying to put it, but once you see the way I break this base down, I'm sure you guys will believe exactly what I'm talking about. And this is the type of base where I will be using a blimp, because you can see like these walls are just not wall breaker friendly. I'm going to have to use a blimp for the town hall over here. There's not much I can do about it. So at least the seed choice is fixed for this one. But you can see exactly what I'm doing over here. I am just making sure that the king can make his way into this compartment one way or the other. And yeah, since I used my giant to tank for the initial wall break over here, I just used that I used the ice golem outside with the wizard instead, just to go ahead and kind of like start sniping the cannon away. It's like almost free value. And exactly like look at this, man. Like it's just so simple. Like the king is gonna handle this compartment as I said, but the queen, we started her way out over here so that she can go ahead and grab the single inferno eventually along with this expo. And remember, as I was saying, do not wait for your heroes to get the value. Just start the next phase of the Lalo early. And I have a skeleton spell for this monolith, so my royal champion can conveniently come over here. And all we're doing is we're just making sure we can start our Lalo from this side of the base. So that way it's just very convenient. And yeah, you can see these balloons are just there to provide a little bit of tanking in case the skeleton spell is not sufficient for some reason. But either way, it is very solid. That clan castle is not going to do much to us. It really is too late, too little. And you can see, as I was saying, I'm not waiting to see what my royal champion is capable of doing over here. I'm just going to start the Lalo. I have literally ignored my queen and my royal champion over here. As I was saying, I have just started with the Lalo, because if you think about it, as my royal champion is coming into this area, these defenses will all be targeting her. So if I manage to start my Lalo, and this includes a few things, you can see I've even dropped those headhunters. Even if I manage to drop those headhunters perfectly, such that like early is what I'm trying to say, such that I'm able to get them under the warden ability, you guys will notice like my royal champion will not take damage from that expo. You can see like these defenses are tanked. The royal champion has actually ended up soiling the town hall, and that blimp has entirely gone to waste just because the royal champion was so efficiently deployed with respect to the Lalo timing. And you can see the life gem once again coming in clutch for this last little bit of the base over here. That HP bonus is something that I feel is slightly more comfortable than the heal tome, but again it's entirely up to you. And you guys can see there is not much really left that can stop us at this point. Yeah, it's really that simple. So you just need to kind of understand that you have to start the next phase of your attack before the previous phase ends, and that's the only reason why Lalo even works. It's because you're able to cross tank defenses. It's because you're making sure not only your heroes are taking damage, and then it's not like only your Lalo is taking damage. Everybody is able to spread the damage amongst themselves and get the job done. That is the most important part. And of course, don't be greedy with your zap spells. Just make life convenient for your heroes or your siege machine. In this case, we managed to get the sweepers down with the poison spell in the core, and it's just one extra spell for the inferno at that point in the core, so why not do it anyway? That's the only reason behind the zaps that we use on this base. There's nothing complicated about it. And now let's just move on to some legend league attacks that I've done. I think there were like one or two nice bases I found for the first day, so might as well just go through them. Not the best base, but I will just give you guys a small note. I ended up using the heal tome for my legend league attacks on the first day. I will probably switch to the life gem just to experiment with it a little bit. But yeah, that's about it. Anyways, once again, just think about it. Like, I'm gonna show you guys this base, and I'm gonna ask you guys to think about it a little bit. How do you want to spend your heroes, and how do you want to spend your zap spells? And also which siege machine you should probably use on a base like this. There are multiple correct answers, but like I'll just give you guys one simple solution that I went for in this one. I just noticed that there was a double invis on the town hall over here, and not only that, there is literally the hero killer waiting for you behind the town hall, and more also like also on top of that, it's like this entire ring is just air expos over here, plus we have the enemy queen right over here. So I thought, why not just dedicate my king and my queen for literally just this much of value. Like, I'm saying only this much, it is actually a lot of defensive value. And to that extent, let me also go ahead and dedicate my zaps just to remove this invis tower and this monolith waiting behind the town hall. It is that simple. It is that simple of a plan. And yeah, the siege machine, I think you guys can already probably see there is a nice pocket waiting for us over here on the right hand side. It has the scatter shot, it has the multi archer tower. So that is all value it'll eventually get, but it should get there. And worst case, the yetis will dump out and provide some nice tank value for this last corner over here. And it should again be fairly obvious. Like, I am cutting a hole over here, heroes are taking out this portion of the base, flame flinger is handling the right side of the base, so that means our Lalo path will be like this. Very straightforward plan once you understand the basics of how to break down bases. And you can see exactly what I'm trying to do over here. I'm just trying to make sure that I can funnel both my king as well as my queen into this compartment, because this invis tower will be popped pretty much immediately. But that invis tower waiting behind the town hall could have wreaked some great havoc. We would have probably even ended up pulling the clan castle in case some of my heroes decide to sit in these corners for some reason. And imagine the town hall being active because of the king's gauntlet. Like, you'll see it exactly like right over here. So imagine if the king had gone like towards the right side and had not finished off the town hall through the wall just like that. This would have been a terrible situation for me to be in. But either way, we're looking good. And yeah, you'll see I am once again not really waiting for my king and queen to kind of die out. I'm just going ahead and starting my Lalo. I started my warden, royal champion, balloons, headhunters, and one more hound to be given in that warden ability. It is really simple. I have even popped my wait, let me just pause and talk about it a little bit. You'll see I've popped my royal champion ability as well. That's because I want to even give them the benefit of the heal tome that I have active. So it's just a little something I've noticed like some pro players do. in their Legend League attacks, I have noticed, like, they, for some reason, they just popped the Royal Champion ability very very early, and they allow the Hogs and the Royal Champion to kind of just speed run through most of the base over here. And yeah, it's just a very very simple attack. Like, I don't really need the feel, I don't even feel the need to even like talk about most of what is going on over here. You guys can see it is absolutely crushed once again. And as I was saying, like, these Yetis, they provided some good value. Like, they actually handled the multi-archer tower, the scatter shot was almost down, and really not much left on this base. Like, how can you defend against like a full Lalo? It's literally only this much of the base left. You've already handled the town hall, you've handled 4 air expos, you've handled 1 multi-archer tower with the scatter shot over here, and I think there was just like 1 single inferno left in the core over here. What can even defend you at that point? It's honestly so silly once you learn how to break those bases down. So yeah, just keep those tips in mind. Use your zap spells to help either your siege or your heroes, or in some situations like I showed you guys in the first attack, both of them. And after that, it's just a matter of timing your Lalo and rotating around the base. Some basics, just don't forget the headhunters in your warden ability, don't forget the hound in your warden ability. Like, you can have 1 initial hound in front of your balloons, but try to catch either your second or your third hound within the warden ability. That's just a lot more tank value that you can get from them. And of course, do not forget the balloons as your invincible hound is traveling through the base. It's just the basics that are there for Lalo deployment, so that you can easily rotate around the base and clutch your triples very very easily. So we'll do one last attack for you guys. We'll just go through it together and we'll call this one a wrap. Not the best base, but it can be a little tricky. Like, there are not too many places where you can get the best zap value as well on this one. But once again, we just need to remember that we need to make life easy for our heroes one way or the other. And yeah, I'm once again just going to give you guys a little bit of time to maybe try and figure out where you should probably zap on this one. And once again, it's not like there's only one correct answer. There are quite a few correct answers, and I've just chosen one of them. And I just saw that this town hall, I'm just giving you guys a bit of a hint, right? Like, this town hall can be accessed by your queen from any of these compartments. So I think this compartment and like this compartment, so those 2 compartments, if you manage to get your queen in those 2 compartments, your queen can easily reach the town hall, but you need to make sure that she can stay alive. So what can we do to make sure that that does happen, right? Like, we have a few options. We can either spend like 2 wall breaks breaking this open over here and making sure our king and queen punch through. Maybe we can zap this entire right side. That is perfectly viable as a solution. Another solution is something that I chose actually in this replay, and you'll see it right over here as well. I chose to go ahead and zap out this little cluster over here because once again, Monolith is a hero killer. So why not just go ahead and remove it altogether, and you'll see exactly what I'm trying to do over here. So I'll go ahead and zap out that little cluster just like that, and what I can once again do is I can start my queen to go around this way, and I can bust this wall open and then this single inferno wall open, and that gives my queen access to the core. And we also found a very nice little spot for our flame flinger to safely grab some value in this area. So all in all, not too bad at all. We will also be able to hopefully tank for the scatter shot with the Yetis in case the X-bow does end up directing itself towards my flame flinger. But all in all, very very simple plan once you learn that breakdown. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead, get that wall break open on this junction so that the next wall breaker does indeed target the single inferno. Those small tricks are very important. And now, yeah, it's just as simple as that. And now this single inferno is being tanked by that skeleton spell just for a bit. Queen is still retaining her ability because we have nicely used the ice golem, maybe even a few balloons to kind of take the beams down from the multi-archer tower. And now, even though we pull this clan castle over here, it's not much of a problem. But you'll notice it's not the clan castle I was expecting, and my queen does end up going towards the enemy king over here. So I have to burn her ability. And you'll also notice I don't have a poison spell for this damage CC, which you usually find on the first days of Legend League. So instead of panicking, just go ahead and start your Lalo early. I should have started my Lalo early, much earlier than this, do mind. because I was like thinking like, oh my god, how am I going to take the town hall down? So I was definitely thinking about it for just a moment, but then I thought like, okay, I just need to remember, I need to start my Lalo early. You can see how I'm trying to bring in those balloons one after another with the hound that keeps coming in like this. And what has happened over here is I have managed to dedicate some spells for my royal champion to go ahead and take the town hall down. So imagine if my royal champion had started much earlier and my Lalo actually covered for my royal champion, then even if my queen had not taken the town hall down, this would have been absolutely crushed. It came very close just because I panicked a little and started the Lalo very late. As you can see over here, like I only have my royal champion left by the end of this raid, but luckily she has her hog puppet still on her, so she should be able to carry through to the finish, no problems whatsoever. And this just goes to show you guys the difference between starting your Lalo at the right time versus waiting for your heroes to kind of die out. This is what happens if you do not cross tank properly. So do learn from my mistake, don't repeat what I did and make it come this close. So yeah, just something to keep a note of. And I hope this does help you guys get started with Zap Lalo in case you do want to pick this attack up sometime. Of course, I will be posting more tutorials on Zap Lalo throughout the season, so do keep an eye out for those as well. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.